Hello, I'm Jim, and welcome to Rallying in America, the Recce podcast. This podcast is an exploration of a rich history, the stories and memories of those who made and make Rallying in America so great. Enjoy the show. My guest this week is David Weiman. David started rallying during the mid-1960s, quickly developing his skills and passion for the sport. In 1970, he achieved a significant milestone by winning a national time-speed distance rally. During the interview, David discusses the history and significance of Press On Regardless. He shares insights into the early years of stage rallying, describing the challenges and excitement of the sport during its formative period. David recounts his experiences competing against notable rally figures such as John Buffum and Tom Grimshaw, among others. David also delves into his involvement with the Space Shuttle Program, providing an opportunity for a deep dive into his technical and scientific interests.
See what my shirt says?
Oh yeah, Olympus Pro Rally, no limits.
This was one. I've been to every site, I think, except Over Mountain. I've been to all of them in one job or competition or another.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got T-shirts from them all.
Oh, excellent. That'd be a fun collection to see.
100 Acre Wood, I've probably got 10 of them. I'm going up there in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, well. Excellent. So you're also, David, you're going to help out with Colorado this year, correct?
Well, not at the rally. I'm going out there at the end of April with Rob Bone, who's the clerk of the course, and we're going to set up the course.
Oh, that should be fun.
Yeah, we're spending a week out there, and hoping there's no snow because it's high in the altitude.
Oh, right. Okay.
So he's now the chief steward or something at Olympus. I saw that from him. So he's there the week and before we start, and he's got to go back to Indiana and then fly out to Colorado.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah.
I'm making a vacation and I'm driving. I'd like to take my wife, but she doesn't I took her on one trip and we went to Steamboat for a rally, Colorado. And she sat in the room because altitude got to her. She finally came out and went to the awards dinner.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about altitude. So, how does that affect? Yeah, with the engines, I imagine that has some effect. I don't know much today, but back in the day, I'm sure it really had an effect on the cars, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, doesn't have it on electric cars, though.
That's true. No worries there, right? Yep. So how far back have you been going to Rally Colorado a lot, or is this your first time getting involved with, the setup and the planning and that?
Oh, no, well, I went to it for like 5 or 6 years straight when it was out of Steamboat. It was out of Steamboat Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And I did all kinds of jobs there. I was a volunteer for it. I didn't compete. I was there when Travis did his row, 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 row. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. That was infamous.
I walked out when it came back to, it was at a fairgrounds with service. Went out there and looked at it, and I said, "You survived that?"
Yeah.
And Christian Edstrom, who was in the car with him, was a close personal friend. So.
And is it true that he quit after that role? Was that his
Travis
last
or
rally?
Christian? No.
Oh, okay.
He has become kind of an executive with one of the big, what do you call them, accounting firms. And he's been doing that for He was in New York. He was in Chicago.
Okay.
He he actually came back at one point when Travis called him back, and he ran a few events
Oh,
after
okay.
he retired.
Okay. Excellent.
I know too many things about too many people.
That's okay. No problem. Based on your email and the first time we connected, your first rally was in 1965?
I think so. I'm
Okay.
not I'm not sure because I was a student at the University of Illinois in Champaign, and I don't remember if it was a rally or a, and I wanted to go to a rally, and it was a whatchamacallit, Gymkhana, as they called them back then,
Yeah.
solo. And I did a couple of those, and then I found rally and never went back to the solos. So
Okay.
my first national rally was in '68. That I know.
Okay. Was that press on regardless? Was that considered a national or
Uh,
um,
no, the first one I competed in.
the first one you competed in? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't compete in '68. Actually, in '68, I pre-checked it. It was
Oh,
an
okay.
SCCA national rally,
Mm-hmm.
TSD, believe it or not,
Yes. Okay. That was
with
interesting.
impossible speeds. So your penalty, your time it took you. I've got another phone. I just hang up on it. It's my scam phone. It's got
Okay.
my old phone number from when we moved back to Texas 30 some years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I can't get rid of it. So all I get is scam calls on
Oh.
it. It's a wireless home phone. So
Oh,
I
there you go.
I can just hang up, and I know, and if they want it, I don't care what they do. But
There you go.
but yeah, I ran some TSDs in '68,
Mm-hmm.
and then they required a pre-check of these were TSD national rallies.
Okay.
A guy named John Smiskell and he passed away recently. I don't know if
Right.
you've heard that name.
Correct. Yes, I have.
He had one of the Pace Setter Zs. He built a 260Z. He ran one of Buffum's TRs. We pre-checked it. They sent us out in the woods alone all night for 2 nights
Mm-hmm.
to make sure the course was right. Then I went back to it to work controls and help them,
Mm-hmm.
and saw the first stage in the United States.
Oh, wow.
It was called Connor's Flat.
Okay. So when say POR and the TSDs are going on, these are happening and being organized prior to when John Buffum comes back, right? And in the late 60s, was that happening or
Well,
prior, right?
TSD rallies have been going on for almost 100 years.
Right.
John came back and started back in when he came back from Europe after running his Porsche in Monte Carlo.
Yes.
He came in and started running TSDs.
Okay.
He was part of a Renault team at that point, which was
Mm-hmm.
really a strange car. I think it was R17, had two different wheelbases.
Really?
It
Yeah,
was a
that's
front wheel drive car
yeah.
where the rear axle, well, there was no axle, it was two half shafts, or were offset. You'd pop the trunk and look in there, and the hump you see for the wheel well,
Yeah.
one they would be offset.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Don't ask. It was a French car.
Oh, I know all about those. I'm trying to finish purchasing and working on a Renault Dauphine. So,
Oh,
which,
I had a 504 diesel.
oh, nice. I had an uncle with a 504. I think, yeah, I think he had it. Yeah, very nice. So, back to John Buffum. So, specifically, Press On Regardless, was that organized and running right before Buffum came back, or is it
Oh
about the
yeah,
same time? Okay.
it's like the 60th, 50th or 60th. It ran back in the 50s, back in the 50s.
Okay. Okay.
I think 50s. I don't know about 40s, but I know it was in the 50s. and it was always the big thing out of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit region did it, but it starts in different places. Now it starts well, it started in Alma then, because it was the home of Leonard Petroleum, who gave us free gas,
Oh, right. Okay.
and they became Total.
Total. Yeah.
The French company, I guess, bought them.
Uh, I just sat down with a photographer who photographed Press On Regardless back in the 60s and 70s. Brian McMahon.
I know the name. I
So
don't
yeah.
know him.
So I just met him, but when we started our conversation, he had a total petroleum racing jacket from Press On Regardless.
Exactly.
And I commented on how sharp it was and how they need to bring those back. I'd love to get my hands on a vintage one, but I'm sure they're pretty pricey.
Go on eBay. You never know what you're going to find on eBay.
True, true. So you're heavily involved in Press On Regardless, and then you were competing in SCCA in 1970, and I understand. Am I correct in saying you won a national championship in 1970?
Yes, I I started running national TSDs in 68.
Mm-hmm.
After having a few good runs in 68, I got a call from Gene Henderson,
Oh, right.
who was forming the Ford got involved in TSD rallying. They formed the
Mm-hmm.
Ford team, and Gene went to his contacts at Ford and formed one was going to be called Press Competition Limited
Okay.
after his store.
Okay.
And he asked me to join it. To do it, I would have had to buy a Mach 1 Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a poor, not making any money.
Yeah.
And I found a friend who lived in the Chicago area who wanted to navigate because I'm mostly a driver,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought the car.
Oh,
So
okay.
we ran it. We ran it in '69, which was the first year of it. And then in 70, we kept running it. I don't think it was part of a team anymore. We got
Okay.
some money. We got a bunch of money from Ford, and Ford paid contingency for it also.
Okay.
So that year, Bernie Rikas was his name, and I won. There were only two classes in TSD
Yeah.
rallying back
Okay.
then, Class A and Class B. A was anything. B, you had to use the car odometer, no calculators, a
Mm.
Stevens wheel. Have you ever heard of that?
I've seen photos of them. Yeah.
Right. That was four of those kind of rallies. We ran with a Halda, what's called a gearbox, which ran off the transmission, and
Mm-hmm.
we put different gears in it to correct the miles. It wasn't electronic. You familiar with the
Oh, okay.
Halda odometer?
Yeah.
Twin Master has 200 reading odometers,
Mm-hmm.
and you put the box in there and convert them after an odometer check, so you have the perfect miles.
Mm. Okay.
And he had a Curta.
Okay.
That was the way to go back then.
Got it.
And we beat all the people and won the championship. And I kept doing it and had
Mm-hmm.
some good high finishes
Yeah.
years after that with different people, and finally evolved into pro rallying.
Okay.
After a long time being away from the sport, I lived in Houston, and then I moved to Seattle and got a look. That's where I met Rod Millen,
Oh, yeah.
who
Okay.
Tom Grimshaw was running with him at the time. You've heard
Okay.
of Tom. And Millen didn't have enough money to fly Grimshaw into Seattle for what was called Rally Week Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Two,
Okay.
two rallies, Tour de Forest and Olympus.
Oh,
And
okay.
Tom told him to call me. because I lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me. We finished second to Buffum on Tour de Forest, and we
Mm-hmm.
beat John on Olympus. So I'm co-driver on a Olympus winner
Oh,
in
excellent. That's awesome.
in I forget the year now. I get
Mm-hmm.
confused. That was 1980.
1980. Okay.
That was his last year of a two-wheel drive RX-7.
Now, I just, interestingly enough, I'm doing some marketing, social media for Susquehanna Trail Performance Rally. And
Right.
I just yesterday posted an image of Rod Millen's RX-7 from STPR in 1982. And unfortunately, he had a DNF, but I don't know the details
Well,
of that. But yeah, it was a
well, that
beautiful looking car.
that was a four-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
He built it himself, or had a team build it,
Yeah.
and it had a Mazda 626 front end because that was a front wheel drive car.
Okay.
Somehow tied it together. So that was I ran a few rallies out there, helped organize a few. Nor'Wester was a pro rally out then those days.
Okay.
Then moved to Florida and too far from everything, and was
Mm-hmm.
working at Cape Canaveral until Challenger blew up.
Mm.
I was actually there outside that day watching it.
Wow. Yeah. Because I remember being in school, about fourth grade, and we actually were watching. We were sitting there watching it live when it happened. That was
We
sad.
all we almost didn't go out. It was ho hum another launch.
Mm-hmm.
It was lunch, and we played hearts at lunch. And at T minus 1 minute, we all said, let's go outside. Well, it's cold. It was in the 20s that morning, and that is cold for Florida.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll bug you now. I'm wearing shorts because it's going to be 80 today here.
Yeah, I
But
think
we
it
went
might
out,
might hit 40 today here. I don't know.
but that was disappointing. And then all the
Mm,
jobs went away because it took a while to do it. And Boeing, I worked for Boeing at the time. I
okay.
moved from Seattle to Florida with Boeing. They moved me to Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, where we fired off Peacekeeper and Minuteman missiles.
Yeah.
And I was very happy when the lady I was supposed to replace, who was retiring, decided not to retire
Mm,
because I hated it there.
yeah.
Worst year of our life, my wife and I's life.
Wow.
Horrible place to live.
Hmm.
Great to visit, horrible to live. I
Okay.
won't go into the details
Yeah,
of it.
that's fine.
And Boeing brought me back to Houston, where I got involved with the space program again
Okay.
and retired from it 20 some years later.
Okay. Well, you say Minuteman missile. Um, just about just about the majority of my family has worked for Raytheon at one point or another.
Okay.
So, I think my dad worked on that Minuteman project back in the day, and he connected me with someone from. I was in third or fourth grade. My dad connected me with someone from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and it was during the time of Voyager 1 and 2, and he
Right.
sent me a big stack of lithographs from Voyager 1 and 2 that I still have. So
That's nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice memory.
I did my best work, I thought, at NASA. I ended up working for a company called United Space Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
NASA got tired in the late 90s of managing all the contractors on the Space Shuttle Program.
Okay.
And there were hundreds, if not thousands of them.
Oh yeah.
So they uh, at, talked to Boeing and Lockheed.
Mm-hmm.
Boeing was in Houston doing things with missiles. Lockheed was doing the refurbishments and stuff in Florida, and
Okay.
said, form a company and we'll give you all you manage everything.
Oh, okay.
And it formed a company called United Space Alliance,
Mm-hmm.
which now we have United Launch Alliance that
Okay, yeah.
launched. That was an offshoot of us. We were the trial balloon for that company because that company is also Lockheed and
Mm-hmm.
half Boeing. They're both LLCs
Okay. Interesting.
owned by the parent. And so we ended up with over 12,000 people in our company,
Oh, wow.
approximately half in Florida processing the vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
half in Houston. And I ended up in what was called the orbiter element.
Hmm.
The orbiter is the vehicle, what comes back.
Right, right.
Shuttle is the whole system. It's kind of a technical term.
Oh, nice.
We were like 60 people managing Boeing who ended up with it because it was originally built by Rockwell and
Hmm.
Boeing bought Rockwell. You love all these?
Oh, yeah. I remember all these names because my dad would always come home and he'd have photos of, Trident missiles launching and,
Yeah.
from a submarine and all these patches. He would always get these patches
Oh, yeah.
from the Trident or, whatever Sidewinder project or something he was working on. So,
Well, I've got in my room behind me a poster I made of Challenger,
mm-hmm.
including passes for me out to the launch pad,
Oh, wow.
passes into where the VAB, the vertical assembly building,
Yeah.
where all the payloads were put together, and patches and
Mm-hmm.
that. And I made that at the time. I don't think there's a newspaper thing. No room in the house to put it. It was in my office
Okay.
at
Yeah.
work. But it's in memory of that. I had car passes. There were different car passes. I had different car passes
Okay.
that had 51L because that was the mission.
Okay.
It was supposed to be I forget how the numbering went. It was a weird numbering, and then they changed it to the STS
Mm-hmm.
120, 121.
Yeah.
But originally it was a whole code of what flight in what year it was.
Okay.
And it was 51L, and it just dawned on me
Yeah.
was the flight of that. And
Oh.
but we ended up 60 of us managed Boeing on a $20 billion contract
Yeah.
because they mostly we did changes, all the changes that had to be done to the orbiter vehicle.
Okay.
And after Columbia had its leading edge hold with ice, we
Mm-hmm.
were part of the investigation. We built a kit to fix that in space.
Oh, wow.
We did studies with Boeing. I remember they wanted to put an ejection system, ejection seats in the orbiter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We spent $5 million on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the orbiter has a main deck and a mid deck.
Yes. Yeah.
So people are up above and below. Well, how do you get people on an ejection seat up? Because that's where you'd want to get out of it.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they studied it. I saw some of this. It was a rail system and an
Mm-hmm.
elevator to bring the crew from the mid deck up to the upper deck where the pilot and co-pilot were to get them out of there.
Oh, wow.
Went very far, but
Yeah.
they did a $5 million study.
No, yeah. Which doesn't seem like a lot of money, even back then. So I remember my dad talking about some of the huge contracts that he would go down and negotiate with the Navy on. So $5 million doesn't seem like a lot compared to what they were spending on defense and that.
Well, our United Space Alliance contract at the end was over $40 billion,
Yeah, I believe it.
and Boeing was over 20 billion of that. They're over half of that.
Wow.
I mean, we did changes. Every day there was a new change order.
Yeah. So my dad would go and negotiate budgets and contracts and things, and this is back in the day where everything was printed out,
Uh-huh.
and he would literally go work in a vault, sort of a vault because of the high security, and he would go through every line item for an entire project. And then he would take it down to the Navy, And he said the Navy would always say things to him like, "Oh, Raytheon, the biggest hogs at the trough," just to try to intimidate him and make a contract go from like $4 billion down to three or something.
Well, it was interesting how we did that. You'd be interested in this, how we did it when I was working here in Houston on the orbiter.
Mm-hmm.
We had NASA, we were the prime contractor.
Yeah.
Lockheed was our subcontractor. So it was three-way negotiating with us
Okay.
working for NASA,
Mm-hmm.
but half owned by Boeing. Think about that one.
That's kind of,
I got
yeah.
yelled at. The Boeing people actually went up to their management, over to our top management, and down to me, saying, "Stop trying to cut their costs." It was my parent, but we did what was called partnering,
Okay.
where we partnered to get to numbers of hours
Mm-hmm.
and materials, because the rates, DCAA always audits the rates, and you pay what they audit.
Right. Okay.
So we would partner three ways, but it was two against one,
Mm-hmm.
because it was us and NASA. And I was really proud of the fact NASA was the prime, NASA is NASA.
Yeah.
We had some really highfalutin people, and I led the negotiations because they trusted me,
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's much
which I
like
was,
my dad then. Yeah.
I, did it. I spent a lot of time in Huntington Beach. I was there a week every month.
Mm.
That's where their headquarters were. We had a bunch of people here in Houston, but all the design people were in Huntington Beach.
Okay.
It started in Downey. I
Okay.
remember that after Rockwell sold it to him.
Yeah.
In fact, I authorized Clint Eastwood to use the Downey facility at the time for the filming of Space Cowboys.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it drove my wife crazy. We went to the movie
Mm-hmm.
because I knew where it was stages and where it was real.
Yeah.
And I knew where it made no sense, where they went from California to Texas and back in the movie in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And the funniest one is they had a conference room in the movie. And I
Uh-huh.
said, "Well, outside there is where I called you when I was having meetings in that conference room."
Mm.
So it's just fun to look back on that, and it was
Oh, yeah.
quite a career.
Yeah. So with your experience with NASA and Lockheed and Boeing and everything, did you meet any other people that were into rallying while you're during your career?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I knew certain people who were kind of in that. A guy named Roger and Kathy Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They were, when I came into the sport in the late 60s, they were winning everything.
Yeah.
And I ended up beating him. He was an engineer for Bell Labs in Holmdel, New Jersey.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I'm 80 years old and I'm still remembering these things.
That's
Kind of
okay.
proud of my memory.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing great. With talking about rallying and cars and NASA and everything, is it was it true? You always hear stories about how like astronauts and that were really motorheads, and were there a lot of at least motorheads that you worked with, or?
Well, I can tell you a story about that.
Mm-hmm.
The
Great.
original astronauts, the seven and then a few after that,
Yeah.
got Corvettes from a dealer in Melbourne, Florida named Jim Rathman.
Mm-hmm.
Was the dealership. Are you that familiar?
Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar with that story. Yeah.
How's that for off the top of my head?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And they got Corvettes, and you know, like Gus Grissom, when he claimed he didn't pull the switch or whatever that flooded his capsule.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
He was a real a-hole.
Oh, wow.
But no, when I retired, I've got three astronauts signed on a model of the space shuttle.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Dick Covey, he did the Covey
Mm-hmm.
report.
Yeah.
Dan Brandenstein, who was chief astronaut for a while. Both of them were officers in our company, and a guy
Yeah.
named Lawrence Shriver, who you probably never heard of.
No.
And what's funny about that is he didn't know me from a hole in the wall, but my wife worked for his wife.
Oh, okay.
And then when the first time I was able to meet him, he said, "Oh yeah, my wife, he talks about you and Paige."
That's funny.
But astronauts are prima donnas.
Are they?
They, oh yeah, well, they're horror. You want to hear? You want to hear a story about a female?
I don't know. Sure. It's up to you.
Uh, she had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
She was an astronaut and flew. She was. She always wanted to go EVA, extravehicular activity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Okay.
going out into space is called, an EVA.
Yep. Right.
And we had spacesuits. The upper part of it, above the waist, was a hut, hardened upper torso,
Right. Okay.
made of fiberglass. It held on the PLIS, life support system,
Yeah.
everything on the back. Hang on that. Well, they came in three sizes
Okay.
because you had different sized people.
Mm-hmm.
She was tiny. She
Mm-hmm.
was a backup, or wanted to be a backup, and said, "You've got to make me one." So we had to make an extra small one for $1.5 million,
Oh my gosh.
and
That's
she
a
never used it.
never used that. Okay. Wow.
And also, well, almost a better one. One time, I was buying camera equipment and binoculars and stuff. I bought all the cameras when I came back to Houston that they flew with. Nikon, Aeroflex for movies, and Hasselblad.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was the contact between the companies and our company and buying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were always buying lenses because they magically disappeared after flights. I'll let you decide what to do with that one. But we kept buying them
Wow.
because you had to have the lenses. And did you know that Nikon, because of NASA, invented the digital camera?
Oh wow. That is neat.
Because when they first started flying, they had no pictures. They, they
Oh
couldn't bring the
right.
film back.
Oh okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So what was
And
the effect
Nikon,
on the travel on the film then? Is it
I don't know. Well, I don't know where they put it. They may have put it in bags because, yeah, you have a lot of X-rays, gamma rays, all
right,
that stuff.
right, right, yeah.
It's like, oh, I deviate. When the shuttle ended, you know about how computers had numbers and Pentium and all that?
Yes.
What type of computer was the main computer in the space shuttle?
Oh, I don't know. I'm embarrassed to admit that
That's okay. You
because
wouldn't
my
get it
dad would
anyway.
have, yeah, told
He
me
wouldn't have
and
known
quizzed
either.
me.
A 286,
A 286. Okay.
because it had to be hardened. We also flew uh, not HP, ThinkPads.
Okay.
Trying,
IBM.
who is
Right.
it?
Yeah, IBM.
Okay, there I failed. I forgot something. I'm
That's
proving
okay.
my age. But they were ThinkPads. But you
Yeah.
had to fly a bunch of them because they would fail because they weren't qualified for space. They were for
Okay.
experiments.
Yeah.
But the cost to have requalified them every time you went, they went from a 286 to a 386 to a Pentium
Mm-hmm.
to that. As they, every couple of years you had a new, but it would take 3, 4, 5 years to test them, be hardened, and they'd be out of date by then.
Yeah.
So when the shuttle ended, it was a 286. It was the main computer in there,
Mm-hmm.
which you have more in your iPhone, if you've got an iPhone,
Yeah.
than the 286
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
So,
Imagine.
little Marcia Ivins. That's where one more.
Mm-hmm.
She was in testing. We had infrared binoculars they used,
Yeah.
and they were like $40,000 each.
Ooh.
And she was in testing, and she dropped one, and it broke, and we had to send it back.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone said, well, the astronaut office is going to have to pay for that because money comes out of different pots.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
I didn't do it, you do it. So we had to eat it as a company because NASA wasn't going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So we had to pay for the repair. I just,
Mm.
but it was known that you didn't say no to an astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
I did win a silver Snoopy.
Oh, you
The
did?
Snoop,
Okay. I've heard about that. Yeah.
I got one,
Oh,
and an astronaut
fantastic.
came and awarded it to me, and I've got a picture of it, and I still know where the little Snoopy is. It flew in space.
Oh, fantastic.
In fact, if you're interested, right here in the closet in here, I've got a piece of flight tile that flew on the shuttle. You want to see it?
Sure. Oh, yeah. I'd love to see that. We'll be right back. Power up your ride. Daily driver, bike, or track beast with Melee Design Firm. Since 2018, Melee has been the go-to source for high-performance battery mounts and power solutions trusted by enthusiasts and professionals alike. Whether you're carving corners on the weekend, commuting to work, or chasing podiums, they have the gear to keep you powered and ready. Their lightweight universal battery mounts are engineered for performance, crafted with precision, and designed to handle whatever you throw their way. They don't just make and sell parts, they build confidence under the hood. Rugged, industrial, functional. That's the Melee difference. Join thousands of satisfied drivers who refuse to settle for stock. Upgrade your battery game today. Now back to the show.
I don't know how good it's going to show up on the camera.
Yeah, that's okay.
I've got two pieces. I've got a brand new one,
Oh, wow, look at that.
and here's the back.
Oh, very nice.
And you see the part number on there.
Yeah, that's a long part number.
Yeah. Oh, I got
Very
a
cool.
call coming in, and I don't. I'll let it. This is a flight one. See the
Okay.
VO70?
Yeah.
That's the part number. Every tile was different.
Okay, so how many tiles would be on a space shuttle total?
Probably thousands.
Wow.
Everyone's different. Here's the back where it was pulled off. See, the pad is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And did you see, like, here's a chip?
Yep.
Chip
Yeah.
happened in space. Here's one other one.
Okay. Just from randomly hitting debris that's floating
Who
out
knows?
there? Or?
It could be. Oh, it could be debris. It could have been ice as they were taking off.
Okay.
Because the external tank was 350 degrees below zero Fahrenheit.
Wow, that's incredible.
Because it was liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So it was insulated, but because, ice is what caused Columbia to go down.
Right, right. Yep.
And hit the leading edge. But every tile, they're different colors. This is a more high temp. Most of them you see on TV or saw are white, if you think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so each one had its own temperature range, but it's very light. It's like styrofoam almost.
Oh, wow. Okay. I wouldn't have imagined that.
Well, think about the weight. You had to keep the weight down.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
That's why, did you see? I didn't only show it this way. This is how thick it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, weight is everything.
Yeah.
Because it was how much per pound does it cost to go into space?
Right. Oh, yeah. I was just reading, you mentioned ice. I just read a history, the story of Mount Washington in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And how during like pre-war, World War II era, they did a lot of ice testing. The federal government did a lot of testing. I didn't realize up there on the effects of ice and extreme weather on, wings and engines and propellers and everything. So I find that fascinating. All that studying and how they first dealt with, hurricane and tornado force winds and
Oh,
ice
yeah.
and
Well, interestingly, because ice is what they determined took out the wing leading edge, which was
okay,
made out of RCC, reinforced carbon, because
okay,
that's the hottest place coming in. We sent ice to a place called Southwest Research in San Antonio
mm-hmm,
for testing. And we have soft ice, medium ice, hard ice.
yep. There's all
There's
kinds.
different. You never think of it. Ice is
Yeah,
ice.
right. Oh
But
yeah.
but they did a lot of ice testing to determine what happened and how to avoid it. But RCC, if you think about it, it's carbon,
Mm-hmm.
so it's very brittle,
Mm-hmm.
very high temperature, and that's why the ice went right through, put a hole in it.
Oh wow.
That's what took
Yeah.
down Columbia,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah. It's too
So
bad.
I have a career other than autos, but
Yeah. Well, I have to ask. You're working at aerospace industry, and that did it lend any of that lend itself to rally?
no,
Okay.
other
Good.
than, oh, well, I had a boss one time who loved to fish, and I hate fishing. I like fishing almost as much as I like hunting, and I've never been hunting.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's it. And he would see pictures of me in my driving suit or, overalls or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And he'd tease me, well, are you putting on your little driving suit? Really irritated me.
I can imagine. Oh, that would be irritating. And coming from
Yeah.
your boss makes it worse, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, in the early days, I had a lot of sick Fridays because we had
There you
long
go.
weekends.
Yeah.
TSDs just had to get there, compete, and come home.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. They won't leave me alone. Do you hear it ringing?
Yeah. Yep.
You didn't hear the other one ringing because it rings I got hearing aids.
Oh,
And
okay.
my cell phone, I don't have it with me, rang.
Oh, okay.
But
So,
I'm not going to walk away other than to get the tile. And you've now seen video of true flight and brand new piece of tile that they gave that to me. And I was a little bit scared when I left with it
okay.
because it's government property.
Yeah.
Legally, you can't take it. And it irritates me. You ever go to a museum where you see an astronaut donated his suit, his watch, and all that?
Oh, yeah,
They're stolen.
yeah. True. Maybe that was NASA calling. So, yeah. So it's pretty incredible the life you've lived, and um,
Uh-oh, I lost your.
oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
I just don't know where the.
Video went.
Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
Okay. No worries.
There, I got it.
Perfect. So yeah. So one thing I wanted to go back, kind of circle around back to the 14 with Gene Henderson. Wasn't there some odd rule back then where the manufacturers could not like put their name or something on the car to that effect?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, well, no, it was SCCA
Mm-hmm.
said no commercial advertising. It was
Oh, wow.
SCCA
So
who
what
put
was
that rule.
the thinking behind that?
Please don't get me started on SCCA, the Stupid Car Club of America.
The stupid car club.
I was a member for 40 consecutive years that gave up on them.
Oh wow.
But that's why the Ford team, if you ever see pictures of the cars,
Uh
it
huh.
says ORD, O-R-D.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just thought the F fell off or something.
No, and if you look at competition limited cars, it was competition limité. The C is
Oh, okay.
missing.
Yeah.
I don't lie.
That's so interesting that they would do that. But yeah,
It
I'm
was
wondering what the logic was, if there was any logic.
it was an amateur sport.
Okay.
Now, manufacturers could give us money. I won a lot of money from Datsun,
Okay.
from Volvo, from Ford. Contingency money was okay. And they paid it for TSD people.
Oh, okay. Well then how would they get recognition if they weren't allowed to? Could they do like advertising in magazines and things like that?
That I'm not sure of.
Okay.
I think maybe they could. They did have a manufacturers championship in TSDs,
Okay.
and they would win it, but they would not allow us to be on the road with advertising. Were you looking at pictures where you saw what I was talking about?
Yeah. I got some photos I think from gentlemen Randy Graves and Brian McMahon and
Yeah, I know
um
Randy.
yeah. So I was curious. Like, oh, I guess the F just fell off or it got peeled off.
No, no, that was absolutely intentional. You couldn't put stickers in your windows. You know how
Okay.
people put,
Yeah.
that was against SEC because it was an amateur club.
Much
I
like yeah, the Olympics used to be all amateurs, and
Yeah,
it was a different time back then.
yeah, but that absolute truth.
Okay. So you said you got contingencies from Datsun and Volvo. So you also had both those makes.
I had I had several Datsuns.
Okay.
Uh, Roommate of mine had a Volvo, and we ran that a few times, so I got
Hmm.
money there.
Oh, okay.
And Ford. I ran in Saabs. Uh,
Oh, right.
you know,
Cool.
sometimes I'd drive for someone else. In the and more recently, I navigate because people want to drive, and I've learned to run a rally computer. There are
Hmm.
only really two brands of it. Although, if we go back to that Roger Bowl thing,
Yeah.
he probably invented almost the first TSD rally computer called Robo for
Oh, okay.
Roger Bowl, like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's neat.
So there were a lot of different kinds of ways to measure miles, to
Hmm.
do computers, but right now the main ones are TimeWise, made by a guy in suburb of Chicago,
Hmm.
and Alpha, which is a guy named Mike Friedman who's somewhere on the East Coast.
Okay.
I just happen to know where Jack lives.
Hmm.
Hawthorne Woods, Illinois,
Yeah.
to be exact. I'll give him a plug.
Yeah.
Ever hear a great race?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
He builds the speedometers for them
Oh,
because
okay.
they're
Very
they're
cool.
not allowed an odometer. They're only allowed a speedometer, and he builds them where they're adjustable, and they go
Okay.
around twice to get up to 50 miles an hour or 60 miles an
Oh, that
hour.
would be kind of confusing, wouldn't it?
Well, if you're going,
I
they know what these
yeah.
guys. These guys, I could never navigate for them. The scores they pull with just a speedometer are absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those cars are amazing. I forget the make, but they're perched up high and out in the wide open, and they're just flying down the road. And you know,
Do you remember the movie, The Great Race,
yes, yeah,
where they had a white car?
yeah,
That car was in the current Great Race a few years ago.
yeah. I saw that picture, and man, that's incredible. It's what it's like a fire engine chassis or something. It's a huge. I've
I
seen it
forget the
at
name of it.
the AACA fall meet. I think I saw it there
Yeah,
one
I
year, if
think it
I'm
was
not
made
mistaken.
in like Buffalo, New York.
Right.
I think is where it came from. Like I said, I've
Hmm.
got too much weird knowledge up here.
That's okay. I love weird knowledge. So, very interesting. What Saab? Do you know what Saab you drove?
'96.
Okay, 96. It's a
Monte
shame.
Carlo.
I
Monte
like.
Carlo. That was the Hot Three.
Okay.
It had a shifter was on the steering column.
Okay.
It had a freewheeling drive.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? You
Uh.
would, it didn't, the engine would disconnect from the transmission if you let off the gas.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is bizarre, isn't it? But
So it was all brakes. You had no engine braking.
but wouldn't that prevent the engine from stalling? Isn't there like pre ABS or something?
Oh,
Wouldn't the engine stall if you really slammed on the brakes hard on some of the cars?
no,
No?
I
Okay.
don't know. I mean, going back and rallying, the
Mm-hmm.
type we're doing, that car, like the minis, the old minis, the little minis, the
Yeah, the originals,
1275
yeah.
minis, they were winning World Rally Champ. Well, it was before the World Rally Championship. They were
Yeah.
winning the rallies in Europe. Eric Carlson.
Oh yeah.
So
I love seeing those minis at I don't know if you ever seen videos of the Goodwood Festival of Speed and those
absolutely.
races. I love seeing those minis just sitting on the tail or passing, like a Ford Mustang or a Trans Am or something. It's just so much fun to watch. And
Well, the Saabs were like that. The hot Saabs
mm-hmm.
were like the minis. They're just bigger and more oddly shaped.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're funny. My wife and I love Saabs. She had one. I unfortunately totaled it, but we won't get into that.
My wife had a 9000.
Oh yeah, okay.
She wanted the sedan. I refused to drive American cars.
Okay, there you go. Well, yeah, Saabs were really good up to the point General Motors took over. But yeah,
Yeah, and then sold them to Tata, I believe,
yeah, and then we don't
and then
know.
they closed it. But
Yeah,
they're still making airplanes.
right. Yeah, and you hear rumors every once in a while of someone trying to revive the Saab automobile, but it never seems to come to fruition. So I don't know.
No, a friend of mine write used to write the 99s, which was
Okay.
their club magazine,
Yeah.
named Tim Winker.
Oh, I know Jerry Winker.
It's his brother.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's three Winkers.
Right.
Jerry lives in the Northeast.
Yep.
Tim lives just outside Duluth,
Yeah.
and Jerry lives in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about the three of them.
Okay. Oh, Jerry is a phenomenal photographer and super nice all around guy. So
Well,
it's
I
good.
saw him the last rally I stewarded. He and I had a nice little talk outside the hotel about some of the goings on that we weren't happy with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. So
Jerry's, he's got a weird job, but he's a photographer. He likes waterfalls.
yeah. Oh, does he? Okay.
He takes his son up north to photograph waterfalls.
Oh, that's really
He
cool.
talks about it. I get his emails and such because
Yeah.
I'm friends with him.
Yeah.
And he loves looking at waterfalls. Northern Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula, northern
Yeah.
Minnesota. He's always going. He goes to Elkhart Lake sometimes. He still photographs there
Okay.
races,
Yeah.
and he'll make an extra trip there to go to some waterfall he hadn't been to.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's neat.
he came back to
About Jerry.
Snowdrift. He took pictures at Snowdrift this year.
Yep. Oh yeah. He's got some incredible photographs. So yeah.
Absolutely. I know, like I told you, I think I know most of the older people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here.
some of these
Yeah.
younger people I see running, I have no idea who they are.
Oh yeah. Well, here I've got something to show you. Hold on one second.
Sure.
So recently, I started the Rally Archive in North America, a nonprofit,
Right.
and
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So the magazine showed up. I don't know. It's not showing up.
It's blocking the it's
It's
blocking
strange.
out.
It's there.
There it is,
That's my
flying.
shirt. It's called Flying Finish.
Okay.
And I got to show you one of Jerry's photos from Snowdrift from last year.
Yeah,
We
the
made it.
video is doing strange things.
What's that?
The video is doing strange things. You're flipping the page, and it goes beyond your shirt, and it
Yeah.
disappears
Here,
as
let
it
me see.
flips.
Let me see if I can't get it to show now. But this,
Oh, wow! Is that Connor?
that is Connor Martell and Alex Gelsomino, and it's Jerry going over a jump. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the camera. It's like trying to
Go
do a
up a little
green
bit.
screen
Can you
thing.
raise it a little?
Yeah.
Oh, that. Oops!
Oh, there it
You all
disappeared. Good old
Yep,
Zoom.
I love it.
Yeah, so we just got those in, and
Well, you like the pictures I sent you
oh
of the
yeah,
of the.
absolutely. And
Don't
that's the
don't
one
forget
thing,
don't forget to give me credit if you ever publish them somewhere,
right? So
and send any money they earn,
okay, we'll do, no problem.
if any.
Well, one of our goals too with the archive is, which the website will be up and running here in the next day or two, but I still have thousands of photographs to go through and get them up there.
Hmm.
But one thing is, we want to make sure, especially photographers or anyone else, that they get credit for all those wonderful photographs that were taken years ago, and they get
Hmm.
some recognition for that. So that's one of our
Well,
main goals.
I was kidding
Oh
about
no.
money, but it'd be nice to see my name on there. But I was joking. I don't
Oh,
expect to get anything.
oh, yeah, your name will be up there. That, like I
Okay,
said, that's my goal, is to make sure that
okay.
we give credit. Um,
Do you know SCCA has a thing like you're building in a building in at Watkins Glen on
yes,
Raleigh?
that is the
Okay,
international, yeah, the Racing Research Center there. Yes.
yeah.
We're going to be a little different in that they don't have anything online that you can research from home. You have to actually physically go there and go through their
Uh,
collections in order to, do homework and research. So our goal is to make sure that everything that we have is up online, and it's there for, research, educational purposes, etc., and not, for commercial use at all. That's between, the company and the creative or the photographer. It's nothing that we want to get involved in, but yeah, we
how
want
do
to
you how
focus
do you
on
stop
education.
them? How do you stop them from stealing them and using them without credits?
So on the website, we plan on doing some kind of a watermark, and a high enough resolution where you can see it well on the computer, but not well enough to download and publish. But we will do requests. So if someone wants an image for like an article or something like that, they can file a request, and then we can send them a link to download the high res image.
Okay,
So yeah.
I'm a worrywart,
Oh,
so I
that's
always
okay. Yeah, we want to make sure. Yeah, there's some control over it, but we also don't want to be jealous guardians of stuff. We don't want to,
yeah.
like, we're not collecting it, or I'm not collecting it for me and my stuff. This is to share and to educate and share the great history of rallying. So
Yeah. So very good.
yeah. Well, I really appreciate your time, David, today and chatting, and I love talking about NASA and that. That was a lot of fun, and we'll definitely have to keep in touch some more. And
Excuse
wish
me
you
while
the.
I'm hanging up the phone.
That's okay. It's NASA calling again. Yeah, and have fun with Rob and Rupert if Rupert's going to be out there.
He's supposed to, yeah,
Out at
Rupert's supposed to
Raleigh,
be there. I
Colorado. Yeah.
know of him. I've never met him
Okay. And
because
he's
he
another
wasn't around.
fantastic photographer, by the way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm trying to remember a guy who wrote a book who I knew real well. He's been doing another photographer. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
knew of the. It's like the picture of, I think, what wasn't it Lauren Tracy? I can never pronounce his name.
Yes.
Who was in the video of Buffum, not Buffum, Travis rolling at Raleigh, Colorado.
Right. Yeah.
Remember
Um.
that they had the guy running? I think that was Lauren. He was at Snowdrift because I saw a picture of
Yep.
him and Jerry and someone
And
else.
Phil Berg, who's
Bill
another
Berg,
old
yeah.
school photographer, and it's really nice to see them coming back and you know um, having a new take on um, photography or an old take on photography. But yeah, it's really neat to see that happening, and it's neat to see them come back after all these years of taking breaks.
Well, I've got another suggestion of someone you may not have contacted, but would be good for you to contact.
Okay.
Kurt Spitzner.
Kurt Spitzner. Okay.
Do you know him?
I do not.
He lived in Colorado. I don't know where he is now.
Uh-huh.
It's Kurt with a K.
Yeah.
He was the SCCA Pro Rally manager, you might say.
Okay.
He did a lot of stuff with Pro Rally. For he's been involved, I think, with the Bridgestone Ice Driving School in
Okay.
Colorado.
Yeah.
But Kurt, Spitzner, I think.
Okay.
Kurt, Kurt.
Yeah.
Last I knew, he lived in Colorado, just outside Steamboat, because I was actually to his apartment. He ended up running Zero Car, and I navigated for him for a while after our car broke
Oh, okay.
for Raleigh, Colorado. Like I say, I've
Yeah.
done a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And
Fantastic.
he has a lot of history. He did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff with manufacturers and
Okay.
such. I think I gave you a good lead and I'm sure if you Google him, you'll find him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll definitely look him up then. Yeah. I'll look him
Yeah,
up this afternoon.
he's good for the stuff you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
He was head of the pro rally department at
Okay.
SCCA when it existed.
Right. Okay.
So
Excellent. Yeah. I'll do
just
some
came to
homework.
mind that, and I was going to say I was going to bet you know who I'm talking about because almost everyone you've mentioned or I've mentioned, the other one has known who they
Yeah.
were.
But
But
that's a
Kurt
new name for
was,
me.
but he was very involved, and he probably put some stuff in that White Watkins Glen. Probably had something to do
Probably.
with.
Yeah. And that's a great resource. It's I'm only about 3.5 hours from there, so it's definitely a trip up I'm going to make. But
Yeah,
again, yeah.
never been to that track.
Yep. I'm gonna try to go. I think in June. My cousins do the Champ Car series,
Yeah,
and they're going to be competing up there. I think they do it at the end of every May.
but it's not Champ Car anymore. It's IndyCar. You're going way back to call it Champ Car.
Oh no, this is still called Champ
Is it?
Car, and it's an
Oh,
endurance run.
okay, well, it's different, but
Let me
the
see.
IndyCar races used to be called Champ Car.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah,
I
I'm
used to
just
do.
going to look it up here quick. Yeah,
I
it's called
used
the
to do.
Champ Car Endurance Series.
Okay, it's something different than I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
But I
Yeah.
used to do timing and scoring. I was part of the Champ Car team. A friend of mine was the head of timing and scoring, so I did several different races.
Mhm.
Ended up with you call it a real cameo in a movie where they were filming. I think it was a movie called Winning,
Oh yeah, okay.
and they brought a camera in the timing and scoring, and I knew where I was sitting, and
Mhm.
they did like a second view of us timing them, and I could
Okay.
barely see myself in the car.
That's funny. I was on I'll have to look up that movie and see if I can find it. But that reminds me, when I was working in Boston about 10, 15 years ago, I went to a bakery, and the Food Network did this thing called Bobby Flay's Throwdown or something, where he would just randomly show up at a bakery or somewhere and challenge them to, making sticky buns or something.
Yeah.
Well, we were there when they were filming, and I was all excited, telling everyone that I'm going to be on this show on Food Network. And then when people started texting me saying, "We can't see you. Where are you?" I'm right there. I'm right in the next to the tall guy who was my intern. You could see him, but you could only see the top 2 inches of my forehead. I was like,
Well,
"Oh, you got to be kidding me!" So
that kind of reminds me, when SCCA was doing, there were several years that Speed Vision did all the pro rallies.
Yeah.
And I ran Prescott with Dennis Chisma. He hasn't been around. He rallied a Porsche 912, and he always rallied with his wife. And she couldn't run, so I went out there to run with him. And I had to wear her helmet because I didn't have one with an intercom. And when they did the video, the TV show, they called me Claire.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah, you can't imagine the funniness. And I remember it vividly at an SCCA convention in Milwaukee, sitting in the hotel bar with Buffum and Salty, which is Salty Sultano, who was John Buffum's sergeant when he was a lieutenant. He was the platoon sergeant and his mechanic.
Oh, right,
and Salty was his crew chief all his time of rallying.
Yeah.
And Buffum was there. There were a bunch of us all, and you couldn't tell what was true and what was false because the lies just kept.
That would have been fantastic
you would have loved Grimshaw.
Listen to. Yeah.
You've heard the stories of him.
I just started reading. I just got
in like a lamb, out like a lion.
You're right. Yep. I just got it, and I'm only into the first chapter. So, yeah, I'm really excited to hear, to read those. But
I read it every few years just to remember some of these things because I would say over 50% of what he says is true.
50%. That's pretty good.
Because he was almost best man at my wedding.
Yeah.
He was at my wedding, but my best man almost couldn't make it, and he was going to be the backup.
Okay.
So, but I knew him, like I told you, he had Millen call me because I lived there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was a cheap way to get a co-driver because I'll never forget the room. We had one room for him and I and the whole crew at the Tyee Motor Inn, which is where Olympus always started. It's in Olympia, Washington.
Okay.
No longer there.
Oh, okay.
We had 2 double beds that John and I got, and the rest of the crew were all on the floor. No money in those days. I mean, he had enough to run the car. And I also remember wanting his tires because they would have fit my car. That was when B.F. Goodrich was bringing tires in a big truck. They were almost free. And I said, wow. I want some of your takeoffs. Sure, but I don't think you will. And we ran a stage from the ORV park, in outside Shelton, and it was up the hill and down the hill, maybe 5 miles total.
Yeah.
At the bottom, we went back in the service and changed the tires. And he said, see, you wouldn't want those. They didn't last very long.
Oh, yeah.
5 miles of, spinning, and that's a 2-wheel drive.
Wow,
car.
That's incredible.
But the Goodriches were snow tires. They weren't anything special. They were off the shelf.
Just snow tires. Okay.
The rally tires didn't exist in the U.S. when pro rallying started.
That's good. Yeah. That's interesting. I never, yeah. Those are the things you don't really think of, And
you know who owns Goodrich now, don't you?
I do not.
Michelin.
Oh, does Michelin own them now? Okay.
Because in Europe, they ran them in the WRC, but under Michelin, but they were Goodrich tires.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And someone else you need
That was
to
a great
talk
film.
to. That just reminded me.
Yeah.
Andrew Comrie Picard, ACP is what we call him. You've heard the name.
I have to admit that I haven't. I mean, I
Oh,
think you mentioned him earlier in our discussion, but I don't.
ACP now lives in Los Angeles. He's a Canadian who
Mm-hmm.
has a law degree from England, started rallying in a
Okay.
Yugo. I think it was a Yugo.
Oh, okay.
He does TV. He does radio. Did you hear about the trends? The where they took vehicles over the North Pole and the South Pole.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He was one of the drivers in it.
Oh, was he? Those massive, huge vehicles?
And there were small ones. There were like
Small ones
pickup
too?
trucks that
Oh,
they
okay.
modified
All right.
too. Because I saw pictures. He sent pictures back and posted them. But ACP, he was an excellent pro rally driver. He
Okay.
ran factory teams. He is a character.
All
He
right.
he does TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say he's a lawyer. He's a Canadian,
Yeah.
but he lives in L.A. He's playing with cars now. He's got a model. It's an A or a T. He's got all kinds of weird cars. He does videos, and I see him when he does it. What car? He's an MGB.
Mm-hmm.
He's got cars all over his house. He 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 he's everywhere. He went to they did a test day where they did these Transamerican cars at a rally,
Uh-huh.
and he flew over to in a snow rally just recently, and he was there. I saw a video of him there.
Mm-hmm.
He he can he has a better voice than I do. I know I
Okay.
don't have a good voice, but he's a TV personality. Oh, and stunt driver. He's been in a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
movies as a stunt driver.
All right. Yeah, all right. I've got some homework to do.
I
Some
can't
people to
believe you
contact.
didn't know of ACP.
It just doesn't ring a bell, but something rings a bell though of someone driving a Yugo. I may have seen something recently, but
But that's
um
how he started in Canada
yeah,
and got, I think it was a Yugo, because they imported Yugos there, I know.
yeah.
It was some weird car. But he had a factory, where the factory was involved, I know.
Okay.
And I don't know if they ever won the Pro Rally Championship, but he ran the series any
Mhm.
number of years. You
Okay.
got to
So,
get him
right. I'll
and Kurt.
check them out. Yep. And it's interesting because since I started the archive, I have a spreadsheet of about 100 different people that I'm writing down and that I need to contact at some point. So it's
Well, I'm
actually a
giving
lot of
you
fun doing the research and everything. So
I'm giving you people that you really need to. I mean, there's a lot of us in the sport,
yeah.
but I'm giving you two that, and Andrew is probably is better than Kurt,
Okay.
but Kurt has a lot of knowledge of the early days of SCCA Pro Rally when it was Pro Rally, because
Mm-hmm.
he was the maestro of it. He
Okay.
ran the office.
All right.
And
I've
all
got some
righty,
fun homework to do this tonight. So looking forward to it.
good enough. Thank you.
All right, David. Have a good weekend, and I'll be back in touch soon. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat, and
I
you're so
I've got
fascinating to listen to.
I, I've got all the time in the world, and I talk too much.
I don't think so.
Well, that's good for a podcast, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. So,
And a lot of knowledge of things that
yeah.
you never heard of.
Oh,
Some of you
yeah.
have.
And I love learning. So that's.
Very good. I'll keep looking for you on Facebook and
Yeah.
at rallies.
All right. Yeah.
SCPR isn't a pro rally anymore. I've run it a couple times.
Okay. Yeah, it isn't. But,
You know, Wellsboro in the beginning of pro rally, you had no cell service there.
right. Yeah. I just spoke to Rusty Campbell the other day. I don't know if you remember him. He
That name is
organized it back in the 70s. He did it for about 15
Meredith
years.
Croucher is one person I
Croucher,
know.
okay, I recognize that name. Yeah, I've got
She
some.
was chairman for quite a few years.
Yep, yeah, I've got some ephemera and that with his name on it. So yeah, great.
I mean, one of the rallies ran only at waste management dump site.
Yep, I've heard that. Yeah, that's quite the
Now
jump there.
Well, it's not really a big jump, but it's
It
there.
is now. It's pretty decent now. I think it's. They kind of change it up every once in a while in the direction they run, but they're still, even this year, they're still at 126 miles.
Well, for a few years, the state forest wouldn't let them in their forest. They kicked them out.
Yep.
First, they couldn't run at night because it used to be a one-day rally that ended about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
With breakfast being cooked.
Yeah, I think the first one, official one, 1977, ran at night. Yeah, and I've heard some great stories about it.
That way. My first one was 99, and even into the 2000s, it was running all night, or most of the night. And then the wards were at the theater in town on Sunday morning.
That's funny. All right.
All righty. I won't keep you.
That's all right. Well, I should have you back on. We can chat for another hour. Much appreciated.
I do too. Thank you.
All right.
I didn't realize how this worked. We started talking. I thought kept waiting. When is this going to start?
Well, I just let you start. I just let you roll right into it. So I didn't want to interrupt. So this has been fantastic. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jim. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. If you'd like to be on the podcast, you can email me, jim@jimboothdesigns.com, or message me through Facebook at Rallying in America, the Recce Podcast, or Instagram, rallying_in_America. Special thanks to Brady Instruments, pro-grade, handmade, professional fuel hydrometers. Visit bradyinstruments.com for all of your fuel testing needs. Thanks to Toontank and the artist Nuclear Wave for the podcast theme music.